Adam here from the Walzer Automotive Group, and what I want to do today is compare a couple of Subaru models. Now on the one side I have the Subaru Outback, and on the other side we have the new Subaru Forester. So we'll look at the interiors, the exteriors, some of the options on both models, and see which one might just be perfect for you. Let's begin by looking at the 2024 Subaru Outback. Now, this has been a vehicle that's been in the Subaru lineup for a very long time, and for good reason. It's tried, it's true, and it kind of does everything. Now, this particular Subaru Outback is the Touring XT. Now, what the XT means is that this one gets the turbocharged engine. So it's a 2.4-liter boxer engine, and it's going to be paired to a CVT, which is kind of like one constant gear. Now, that means you're looking at about 25 combined or about 29 mpg on the highway. Now, this is also going to get symmetrical all-wheel drive. Now, what's great about all of Subaru's SUVs is they come standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive. So that means it's all-time all-wheel drive. Whether it's raining, winter, heading to a campsite, this is definitely going to help you out. So up front on this particular Touring XT, you will have steering responsive headlights. Now there's a ton of safety equipment that we'll touch on a little bit more inside, but overall on this particular Subaru Outback, some really cool features are going to be the 18-inch wheels. It's got the retractable roof rack rails. So instead of having to put crossbars up there, the rails actually have a foldable crossbar. So if you're throwing the kayaks up there or the mountain bikes, it's very convenient, and then you can just tuck those back away. Now this Touring XT will get the power liftgate in back, so when you open that up, you do get a little bit more storage space than I think found in the Subaru Forester. Now you can also fold the seats down, so it's a 60-40 split, so you can kick down one side or the other, and there's a really nice cargo cover back there so you can keep things out of sight. Now, while most of the good equipment obviously is going to be on the inside, let's hop over, we'll check out the new Forester before we jump in. Now, this is the 2025 Subaru Forester, and this is going to be the Touring trim as well. Now, you will note that there will not be an XT or a turbo version offered on the Forester, at least as of yet. Now, 25 was a redesign for the Forester. As you can tell, it's completely different than the outgoing model. Now, this one gets a 2.5-liter boxer 4-cylinder, and again, it's going to be paired with that CVT transmission. Now, what's great about this one is fuel economy does improve when you go away from the turbo engine. You're going to be looking at a little bit higher fuel economy, as this one's 32 on the highway, again compared to the high 20s that you'd find in the Subaru Outback. Now, if you take away the XT from the Outback, you will be very similar to the Forester model. Now from there, this one does ride on a little bit larger 19-inch wheel, and there's a lot of really cool wheel designs for the new Forester. If you're looking at the sport model, you can also get the gold or that bronze accent that runs through the vehicle, but I think they did a great job with the redesign. Now, if we're looking at the front of the 25 Forester, this one also will have the steering responsive headlights. You're going to have that front camera up there and a completely different design depending on which trim level you are looking at. There is a few different options for the Forester. Now, you won't get those cool cross rails in this, but it will have the standard roof rack rails up above that you can obviously add the crossbar if you do want to throw the mountain bikes or anything else up above. Now, this Touring will come with the power liftgate in the back, and as well, this is a 60-40 split. Similar to the Outback, but style and design of the cargo area does seem just a little bit different. You're still going to keep that cargo cover back there, and again, it's pretty close to storage. I think they are going to be very similar from that regard. The rear seats are a little bit different though, I found. Both of them are going to have heated second rows with USB charging as well as vents back there, but I think headroom for me at 6'1" was a little bit better, honestly, in the Forester. But before we talk too much about the interior, let's hop back over to the Subaru Outback. We'll check out that inside. Okay, so in the Outback Touring XT, there's a lot of really nice equipment in here. So like I said, starting with that second row, this one does have the heated seats. They're foldable seats. There is kind of a little step even down by the left side. So if you are accessing the roof for the mountain bikes or the boats or anything like that, you can step there and easily access it. But like I said, plenty of legroom back there. I was very surprised where I was driving comfortably. I didn't really have to move the seat forward. I found myself having plenty of space, whether that was for my knees or my head, but like I said, just maybe a little bit more it seemed in the Forester. Now, we've always got our cell phones with us, right? So this one is going to get the wireless charging tech package. You've also got the USBs down there, but the 11.6-inch display, if I click here, I've got Apple CarPlay. So that's going to be wireless in this model as well as the Android Auto. It makes it really easy when you're on the go. Google Maps, Spotify, text messaging, and there's also an amazing voice control system in this model. So if I click the button right here on the steering wheel, it's going to give me a ton of options that I can just speak out loud, so I'm not messing with the screen or with my phone when I'm on the go. Now, kind of in that same vein for safety, like I said, the steering responsive headlights are going to be in there. You're also going to have an adaptive cruise control system, so 4, 3, 2, 1 car length distances ahead of you can keep, and there's also going to be a lane departure system built into that. Pre-collision braking, you're going to have rear vehicle detection, as well there's a full driver monitoring system that you can see right up here at the top of the infotainment screen. So there's lots of really good stuff to help keep you and your family safe when you're on the go. Now, if you're not using the CarPlay or Android Auto, this will also have built-in navigation. The radio in here is awesome, and this upgrade in the Touring is the Harman Kardon sound system, and it does sound pretty good and makes a pretty big difference. Now onto the other side, we've got our little tiny digital gauge cluster here in the middle, so you can go through, kind of see all your pertinent information, and then on the top of our regular infotainment screen, you can also see more information there. So you've got the maps, some of the vehicle settings in here, the weather it would show you, and then your X mode. So if you are going to that campsite, or if you're out in the snow kind of playing around, the X mode will help you out in those situations. One of my favorite features in any new vehicle is going to be the heated steering wheel. So there's a little button just by the right side of the bottom of the steering wheel here. So that's a full 360 heated wheel in this model. You've also got ventilated or air conditioned seats, as well as the heated seats for the driver and the passenger. Now these are going to be power seats. It's also got the memory over here, and the passenger seat is also going to be power, which is really nice. So there's lots of stuff in here. The backup camera is pretty awesome. So if I pop it into reverse, you can actually see the back of the camera, or there's a little button down here for view. So if you don't have the vehicle in reverse, you can click that and it's going to pull up your front facing camera as well. So if you're trying to see how close you are to a curb, parking spot, that is a really convenient feature. So this model will get the standard sunroof up above, and obviously this one has the brown interior. So these seats are super comfortable. I love the brown and black that runs through. It's on the dash, into the door cards. It flows really nicely, and there is a few different options, obviously, with the lighter interior, the dark interior, or the brown, but I think this with the green does mesh really well. So there's a lot of stuff to cover, but we will find some similarities in the Subaru Forester, so let's hop over there, we'll check that one out. Okay, so in the 25 Forester Touring, immediately the seating position is a little bit different. It feels kind of more upright, if that makes sense. The visibility of the windshield feels huge, and I love these little windows on the side here, so you can see out of the side. Visibility is great in here, and just like the Outback, you actually have a digital rear view mirror. So if you've got all your camping gear loaded up in the back, you can't quite see out of here, you can flip this and it will give you a clear view out of the back, which I really like. Now, a lot of stuff, like I said, is going to be kind of similar when we're on the inside. Obviously, I wanted to compare the Touring to the Touring. This one with the brown interior is quite a bit different though. There's kind of a suede material that runs through, and you have black on the seats instead of being the complete brown. The suede material also runs into the door cards with the brown and a little bit different stitching. Now, on the dash, you kind of have this honeycomb look, and it does look really cool in here. I actually sat down and went, whoa, because I hadn't seen one of these before in person, and I absolutely think the brown and black interior would be the way I would go. Now this one, a big difference is going to be quite a bit larger sunroof. It's not a full panoramic roof in here, but it does go a little bit further back into the second row. Now the second row in this one, like I said, I did feel like I have a little bit more headroom, as it is a little bit different of the design of the vehicle, just kind of lends itself to that. But overall, very similar as far as cargo room and space is concerned between this and the Outback. Now we also have the 11.6-inch display in this model. Again, wireless CarPlay, just a little bit different of a setup for your USB charging and wireless charging down here, but pretty much the same. Now you lose the little camera button on here, but when I put it into reverse, actually on the screen, there's a little camera button here. So I can click that, I can see a full 360 view out of the front, out of the back, and also your parking sensors would be shown there as well. The X mode would be a little bit different in this model too. Snow and dirt, deep snow and mud. So there's going to be two different selections instead of just on or off. So that would be a little different there. Now our steering wheel, this one also will have the heated steering wheel, and it's going to have some of that brown stitching that runs through, and it is really comfortable and it feels nice on your hands. Now the power seat on this side also has the lumbar, and you also have the power passenger seat. Plus you do get the memory seating in the Touring models. So let's talk about MSRP or pricing. Now the Subaru Outback XT, as it was configured there, is going to be $45,700, just about in that range. If we're looking at this Forester for the 25 Touring, this one's coming in at about $42,200. So there is a few $1,000 discrepancy. Obviously the XT with the Touring is going to be a little bit more expensive, but there's not a lot of differences in the features. Really, it's going to break down to, do you like the driving position? Is there certain features you want out of the Outback versus the Forester? And exterior styling, to me, is going to be one of the biggest factors for this model. This one's going to have the foot-activated power liftgate, the Harman Kardon sound system. There's a lot of similarities of things that are offered or things you can get in both models. So I think the best way to differentiate between the two is to get out and drive them both. Maybe you're thinking you're looking for a crossover, a wagon, an SUV. These kind of deliver on a lot of fronts. I love the seated position being up a little bit higher, the symmetrical all-wheel drive, and the price point on both for the fully loaded models is going to get you a ton of equipment for the money. So I think get behind the wheel, sit in the second row, pop the hatch in the back, and see which one might just be perfect for you. So that was just a quick look at the Outback and the new Forester. Now, if you have any other questions or you'd like to schedule a test drive, you can visit us online at walser.com or stop by either one of our Subaru locations. We'd be happy to help you out. Thanks for watching.